2, we want to derive the general quadratic formula. That is, when you are given the general form of quadratic equation and you have to derive the formula which we know as quadratic general formula, you simply follow the steps of completing the square method. You know, we have factorization method, we have completing the square method, we have graphical solution. So from completing the square method, we will get the general quadratic formula. So the first thing to do, take the constant to the right hand side. That is ax squared plus bx equals minus c. Then you divide both sides by the coefficients of the squared letter, which is a. You have ax squared over a plus bx over a equals minus c over a. So this divide this, you have s squared plus b over ax equals minus c over a. So next now is to make the left hand side a perfect square. So how do you make an expression a perfect square? You pick the coefficient of the unsquared letter, then you multiply it by 1 over 2. So the coefficient here is b over a. If you multiply b over a by 1 over 2, that is b over a times 1 over 2. So it will give you b times 1 is b, a times 2 is 2a. That is b over 2a. So it's going to be x squared plus b over ax plus that b over 2a that we got earlier in bracket. You square it, is equal to minus c over a plus the same thing that you add here. Why are we adding b over 2a squared to both sides? To maintain the equality sign. If this expression is equal to this, whatever you add here, you must add it here to maintain the equality. So now, you pick x and this one in bracket, then you put your square outside the bracket. So this is minus c over a plus, if you open this bracket, this is b squared over 2a squared. That will give us 4a squared, because 2 squared is 4, then a squared. So here we have x plus b over 2a squared is equal to, we find the LCM here. LCM of a and 4a squared is 4a squared. So if you divide 4a squared by a, you get 4a. Then you multiply it by c. That will be minus 4ac. So if you divide 4a squared by 4a squared, you get 1. Multiply by b squared, you have b squared. So you now take the square roots on both sides. If you take the square root of this, you'll be left with x plus b over 2a equals plus or minus square root of minus 4ac plus b squared over 4a squared. So now, we have x plus b over 2a to be equal to plus or minus, we can rewrite this as b squared minus 4ac to avoid starting an expression with a negative sign. Square root of 4, we can bring it out. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of a squared is a. So now, this will move to the right hand side. We have minus b over 2a plus or minus over 2a. So now the LCM of these two terms is 2a. That means we have x equals, the LCM is 2a. 2a into a, that is 1. You multiply it by minus b, you get minus b. Plus or minus 2a into a is 1. Multiply it with this, it will be b squared minus 4ac. So with this, we have derived the general quadratic formula. Thank you.